My eyes are watering. There's a lot of dust in the air. I can't see too well anyway because I pawned my corneas 2 days ago to buy a pair of shoes. The replacements are cheap and ill-fitting, and the anaesthetic wears off quickly. So 15 minutes later I'd spent all the money on a week's supply of codeine. I ate it outside. I had to lie down on the pavement while the painkillers got round to my eyes. I hung my head over the curb to make them arrive faster. Before she ran away, my wife said this would happen. She even got the date right. I tried to remember the expression when she said it. I had just got as far as a large, roaring mouth when a pair of shoes appeared next to my head. I thought they looked familiar. They were familiar because I'd lost them in a bet to the art dealer Jaffet Corncrake. "That's rather good," he said. "Is this a new performance piece or just a work in progress?" "I sold my eyes," I said. "I can't see." He clapped his hands and jumped up and down, thoroughly impressed. "That's very good. I like it. We must talk about this. Are you very busy this evening? Because I've got a new show on at the gallery if you'd like to come along." I couldn't say no. I couldn't say anything because I didn't want to, and words don't form in my mouth when that happens. So he hailed a taxi and pushed me into it. As we drove through London, he talked fluidly about art. Coincidentally, I felt very sick. When I asked him whether perhaps he could return my shoes, he said, "You really will make an excellent installation. Who writes your scripts?" Corncrake's private gallery was full of people. It was also full of water, as it was really a swimming pool with pictures hung around the walls. The guests were swimming round and chattering. Corncrake introduced me to a hugely fitted woman called Hymenoptera, who helped me into the pool and gave me a drink. A man called Howard's Knack touched me on the nipple and asked me what I thought about the Sarajevo school. I was about to say, "Please help me," when Helen Collop swam up, popped a cherry in my mouth, kissed my forehead, and asked me how my mother was, and then swam away again without waiting for an answer. Hymenoptera surfaced with a tray of crudités and shot me a greasy wink. It was at this point that the level of codeine in my blood became critical, and the contents of my stomach flew out of my mouth in a surprising yellow jet, which, as my head sank below the surface, acted much like a turbine, propelling me 10 feet backwards through the water. The last thing I heard was Hymenoptera asking timidly, "Was that supposed to happen?" "I'd like to hear some music now. Preferably the Bucharest Symphony Orchestra in chorus performing Ligeti's Requiem, which should be played on a cassette machine with flat batteries." "Start the tape now, please." "Thanks." Ligeti's incorporation of polyrhythms contrives to produce one of the more crystalline and difficult pieces of music ever written. No piece of music ever summed up death better. No human being ever experienced anything so close to death while still being alive. Edward Heath attended the British premiere and asked the conductor if he had the right music in front of him. That was before inflation. And the 3-day week. And candles. Any minute now, the blowflies will hatch. They've been breeding in a scrap of kidney next to my foot. I cannot bend down or move from side to side in here, and I must remain standing with my face pressed to the thick glass. Still, I am lucky. When Susie found me, I had been stranded on a traffic island for 4 hours, and when she suggested that she take me home to have me walled up as an art installation, I agreed straight away. So here I am, in an alcove in her living room, being exhibited behind glass next to a plaque bearing the name Berens Oslo. Berens Oslo is the artist that did me. There is a copper tube to help me breathe, and I am naked except for a string vest. Some of my lower parts have been painted yellow. I think the cleaning lady pushed the kidney through the tube, but it missed my mouth and fell to my feet. Susie is having a sort of dinner to open me officially. It seems to be a great success. Her face is all blotchy with anticipation as she waits for guests to react to me. I am a great hit when one of them taps on the glass and says, "Susie, you are a genius. This is what art should be like, moving in a relevant way." I have instructions to reply to these comments by saying, "I am very sorry, this art is crap." Of course, the guest is flabbergasted because they have no idea I can hear them. Only very recent Baron's Oslo has come fitted with a ticket machine intercom. They start raving about the magnificence of a piece of art that is capable of criticising itself. "That's amazing," they say. "This art is capable of criticising itself." As I continue to slag myself off, there is a buzz of expectation as Will Self arrives with his special pillow and miniature chicken. He spots me and immediately delivers himself of the opinion that he has never seen a more klepto-masturbatory anthropoid. He kneels and says that now he has glimpsed all of our hypocrisies in a neuroplastic ellipse. There follows a period of silent eating, with occasional sobs and the passing and gradual filling of a tear thimble. I've been here for a couple of hours now. Susie summons the guests into an adjoining room. She is an excellent hostess. One girl stays behind because she's trying to chase the dragon and it keeps getting away. In the adjoining room there is a hatch which allows access to my back parts. Susie opens it up, and guests take it in turns to put their hands through. I gather from their language that they are attempting to read my arse. There's a kind of binary braille encoded into the relative temperatures of my buttocks. Extra verbs are in the roughness and adjectives in the formation of folds around my daisy. Presently I can hear squabbling. Apparently my arse has declared that one of them is the slave master, but hasn't revealed which one it is. I am beginning to feel ill. There is no one to notice me except the girl with the foil. She sees that I am in distress and walks slowly up to me with a very unintelligent look on her face. She empties a lungful of dragon onto my tube. My next action is caused by the combination of poppy smoke and the new development taking place next door, which some of the guests are calling "Feed the Arse." A high-pressure jet of old stomach emerges from my tube, just as Will Self is passing on his way home. "We are all Huxley's Babkins," he says, and vaults through a closed window. The truth is that events continued in pretty much the same way for about a week. I think the girl who had shown herself clumsy with the horse may have died. The blowflies certainly did hatch and blocked my view completely, so that my abiding memory is the sounds heard through buzzing, mainly the rhythmical slamming of bare skin on alabaster as Susie succumbed with grunts to the meaty pleasure of each new slave master. I was eventually extracted by 6 men in contamination suits. They were extremely distressed. This happened 2 days after Susie went on holiday.